Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to Conscious Together, this channel run by Lorraine, Avanti, and myself. So when either you're online or you're going to watch the video, recorded video later, please help subscribe, share, and turn on the alert. I think I need to adjust the focus a little bit so it could see me more clear. Yep, I think this is better. Okay, wonderful. uh, Workplace mindfulness. Um, some of you know me that you know that I've been in a workplace most of my career, most of my life. So this is also why this is a topic that I like to talk a lot. I know in today's world, um, most of people need to work one way or the other. In today's society, the work is organized in the form of different type of organizations, right? Some business, some profit, non-profit, government, but there has to be an organization, an institute, right? Even if it's universities or hospitals, the same. So today, actually, I'm going to use some material. Um, it's publicly available. You can find it uh, on internet. Some may be more looks authoritative, like Harvard Business. Some are mindfulness related sites. Right? I'm going to use one of the material. It says this is it's called Yours app or Yours Business. Here it mentions 9 businesses, um, the big companies that practice mindfulness. Okay, it says when it comes to business world, mindfulness is often seen as a fringe activity reserved for small, up and coming companies. However, there are a number of large corporations that have begun to adopt mindfulness practices in order to improve their productivity and bottom line. As a mindfulness teacher and coach myself, and mindfulness promoter or a long-time meditator, I'm actually just under the different impression, maybe because the culture or work that I grew up with and lived later. I've lived in Asia for half my life so far, and the other half on the West, Europe, and here, U.S., Canada. I'm under the impression that the mindfulness had started with tech companies. Um, in the Silicon Valley, for example, there are a bunch of names that you could mention. We all know that they have the conference, mindfulness. I think the latest one's 2.0. Maybe there's a 3.0 that I didn't know. So, anyways, I think the lots of the small companies, either startups or just medium to small, maybe more the small companies, are more focused on surviving. This is at least the ones that I see those from China. Well, even big companies. Again, this is maybe just the mm, phase of development on business. Um, well, sometimes we don't use as much as those politically sensitive words like capitalism or socialism, but sometimes people call it that way. these business or capitalism has been developing in the Western world for much longer time, uh, and is in a different phase. I probably wouldn't say it's an advanced phase or not. This is making it politically not correct. Um, yeah, it's maybe because of that. Anyways, I'm under the impression that many of these Chinese companies are more um, looking for business transactions, sales, marketing, more on that traditional aspects of of a business, like the five P's, right? Place, price, product, and all those. And here in the West, I've found, right, in order to, even from the business point of view, right, from business point of view, you need to be viewed as a any very, very positive. You need a positive image. Maybe because of that, maybe much more than that. So social responsibility and being a best employer, a good employer, is something that that has a lot of value. So, anyways, the impression is it started with bigger companies. So maybe whatever in this article is more true than my impression, which is good. I'd like to receive these feedback if anyone could let me know, um, or I'll start my own research too. But if it is, it's a good thing because I know already that big companies are here for mindfulness, lots of big ones. Um, and right, if it's a small company that's more interested in this, it's even better. Hey, in this article, we'll take a look at some of the biggest companies that have embraced mindfulness and see what benefits they've uh, reaped from doing so. Okay, great. So first of all, what is mindfulness in workplace? Mindfulness at workplace is all about being attentive to present thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, as well as learning to be more attuned to your own needs. It is a useful skill that can be learned by anybody. That's the good news. Mindfulness has been discovered in studies to have a variety of benefits for both individuals and business. Okay, this is wonderful. I think as I do this live streaming, um, mindfulness has so many realms that it can be applied. So more and more, I think I am more clear. It's helping me to be more clear where I should be focusing. Uh, I receive requests and feedbacks day to day. There are needs in different, there are friends who has manages autism, uh, patients, um, and there are mindfulness parenting. There is stress reduction, different applications. But more and more, I'm clear because of my experience in workplace. I think this is a realm I'm definitely going to dig deeper into, together with all of you. Um, the definition of mindfulness here is not too much difference than the mindfulness in general, but maybe maybe there's a more bigger emphasis on the productivity and all those benefits for the business. I know many business start with a doubt on mindfulness. Many thinks that um, people's or employees productivity, um, is a constant number. That's why if you work longer, uh, do overtime more, you will be more efficient. For a long time, right? For my one of my previous employers, for more than a decade, the reason I didn't promote as much, I tried to promote different things like Tai Chi because I saw those R&D teams starting from morning time, like 9 o'clock, maybe. Well, in some of the culture they have nap. They take a nap, but they work overtime all the way until company offers lunch and dinner if you have overtime, and many work as late as 10 o'clock. You won't be surprised if you drive outside of one office building, you'll see all the lights are still there by 10:30, sometimes even later. I don't know. Sometimes it does help because unavoidably, if you spend more time there, you could uh, even sometimes not 100% out of your willingness, you still do something. However, there again, unavoidably, you have people that they stay there only because other people stays there. You know what I mean, right? Let's just be real and honest. Um, so for the longest time, I doubt that even these mindfulness has um, any benefits on productivity. I'm 100% sure that for individuals, if you practice mindfulness, it's definitely for your own mental health, even for personal growth and all those. But it still will take some time. Definitely will take some time. So, anyways, today even myself is more convinced by these researches and of course by whatever is presented in this article. It does. Um, the data shows it does enhance productivity and of course benefits for individuals and business. So that's good. Why do companies need mindfulness, right? Here's a good list of benefits. First, and improve focus. Mindfulness boosts mental processes, including attention, decision making, and coordination. That is almost no doubt. If I just check myself as a individual, I'm not sure how much score I was. Same example, that company I worked for more than a decade. Can I be scored like 5 in the when the full score is 10? I did try. I spent lots of time working, but what was the efficiency, or was I um, have full attention, good decision making and coordination? And again, honestly, as an individual, I was not. I probably score myself 5 or maybe less than 5, right? In a score of 10, that doesn't even pass, right? But I believe I'm one of the normal, regular employee, right? Meaning mindfulness has lots of it has a lots of room that mindfulness can come into play to help. Right? That's very very or much more confident on saying this. Right? Improve focus. I think one of the example that's often quoted is the founder, or is the everybody should know him, Carnegie, not the Carnegie of the management coach or individual coach, but the king of steel. um, the magnet. So one time he said, when asked why he was so successful in business, he said, I can keep my attention continuously for 5 minutes. People may wonder, is it that hard to be focused on like in 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes duration. If you try that, you will know it's probably not the easiest thing to do, right? Your mind started wandering maybe just in a few seconds. If you don't believe it, you haven't practiced mindfulness, you can try. Hey, increase productivity. Mindfulness increases the quality of work by engaging an employee's full attention. I think that is very true. That is very true. Uh, well, in the meantime, that doesn't mean um, the ones who has high productivity um, practice mindfulness day to day. Believe me, there are people who are kind of born uh, to have that ability. But again, the good news is they already have the mindfulness with them. So mindfulness still is important. Okay? I'll talk more later on this. Some people are born with mindfulness. Okay, next one is reduce stress. It gives people a break in their stressors by shifting focus back to their physical reality. Very important. And we all know that the mindfulness started from the West by John Kabat-Zinn uh, with a program of MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. So this is the very um, classical uh, application of mindfulness. Okay? And it is also also very true that um, shifting your focus back to physical reality, because we kind of live in a daydream state uh, a good percentage of our time. If you know the idea of default mode network, that's really how the brain uh, is built. It has that um, autopilot mode um, unless there is something that you focus. So, stress reduction and then reduce negative thinking. It can put a stop to cycle of negative thinking and rumination. This is similar to what we have said, mm, that our brain is in that constantly autopilot mode. Um, when mindfulness is in place, it can stop that cycle and stop that rumination. And we all know rumination. Uh, or sometimes we think, okay, when we recall something that's really sweet, it may be good. Yes or no, right? If we either for the future we yearn for something good or for things that already passed, we keep thinking about it, even it's sweet or good things. There is a kind of longing, and the mind is actually in an active mode also, right? You can check that, especially when your practice uh, is in a more advanced stage. But first of all, we all know that there are lots of negative thinkings. There are lots of them, right? Either hatred or self criticism, All those are very negative. Let me uh, turn off this program so we're not bothered. So reduce negative thinking. Very, very important, right? You may or may not notice how much negative thinking you have, but when you practice, you will realize. So promote, and the next one is to it can promote calm. Mindfulness aim to achieve a state of alert calm through conscious attention. That's very true. Um, Maybe I'm not alone. Many people, many people, maybe great majority of people try hard to um, calm ourselves down time to time or maybe all the time. But is without the right tool or the right skill, it seems very hard, right? And of course, with the uh, right view or right uh, theory that we know how it works, right? And a good understanding of the mechanism. Because sometimes when you try to suppress the emotions or the thoughts, it simply won't work. Um, well, I'm thinking there's a Chinese saying that if there is a pot of boiling water, the best way is to remove the wood that's burning right underneath, instead of just pouring some cold water into it, because right without removing the um heating source, uh, the cold water will get boiled soon. So we do need a very good understanding of how it works, and this is what we are our job here to promote and explain. The next one is building emotional intelligence. By focusing our emotions, we can become more in tune with others. Hmm. Emotional intelligence. That's a good way to uh, to say it. Um, yeah, if you have watched some of my previous videos together with Avanti and Lauren, I have mentioned how can we be successful. Many want to be successful. Maybe every individual, right? In U.S. here, we say American dreams. Um, in different places, mm, no difference. There are our dreams. We want successful. We want good life. Mm, However, maybe not many have, right? If you look at the books of success, right? Many will tell you, hey, good habit like this, good habit like that. Um, but sounds like there are not many that mentioned have looked at it from this perspective. If you are able to control your emotion, make it in tune with others, you can be very successful. For those who have maybe in my age level or to have some experience of work and relationship, recall those moments that we lost our temper, right? We became angry, we said bad words to others, or maybe even worse, right? There is some physical uh, fight or physical things happen. Think about those moments. If we had not those kind of emotions, those moments, would we be more or much, much more successful? I would say so, right? For some of the emotions, maybe it didn't hurt as much, but if we're not able to control our emotion, we didn't choose to whom we lost our temper. Sometimes it can be very important people in your life or in your career. Um, that means it could even be the main one, one of the main reason that either bring you or block you from the success that you dreamed. Anyways, building emotion intelligence is very, very important in workplace as well as in family life and other aspects of life. Okay, increase workplace happiness. A mindful workplace has decreased stress and improved job satisfaction. Right? Imagine a place that encourages some other indexes. Um, right? You be there longer hours. You seem uh, hard, very higher efficiency, um, as if you work in a production line. You may have other examples. What I mean is the workplace, if a mindfulness is encouraged, it could has that unseen energy that let everyone be real, honest. In the meantime, high productivity, right? Because you don't pretend, right? Everything is just real. Right, that's definitely a much better workplace. Okay, next one is avoid burnout. Mindfulness leads to better communication, awareness of employees' roles, and job satisfaction. And that can protect employees from burnout and even reduce healthcare cost. Well, in today's world, unfortunately, there are lots of burnout. Um, I haven't have many individuals next to me in the Western society that shared this burnout with me. That's probably a bad thing because if you hide it inside, you tend even more. You add one more layer, right? You add some more burden. But maybe because of culture, I have heard and those burnout in my Chinese friends. Um, but I definitely know from from different sources. You check the internet. There's a lot of burnout cases. Okay, mindfulness for sure. So through my own practice too and my teaching, I know these are very common. The burnout are very common, and it's very important to prevent that to happen through mindfulness. Okay, boost creativity. Mindfulness reduces fear of judgment, which decreases self oppression. Oh, sorry, which increases self expression and creative thinking. That is true. When without mindfulness, um, our thoughts or the way we think is at a very superficial level. That's what I can put it. Um, yeah, the real creativity actually comes from in many times is not comes from thinking or squeezing or long time meeting. You try to squeeze the answer out of your head. It's really more when you are relaxed and those answers just simply pop up, right? Isn't our mind amazing, right? The way how it works, and so that's how mindfulness works too. Um, you might have heard examples of General Mills when Janice was having meeting. She um, paused it when it comes too became too long, like an hour, over an hour. In many times, many people got tired. They are there simply just they just want to show up. There's not much creativity, right? Go back to anywhere, yard, garden, um, or your own office, sit down for a little bit, and actually the answers in many times can just pop up. So no doubt mindfulness can increase creativity or creative thinking. Last one on this list is the improve motivation. Very important. Mindfulness practice allow a person to focus on their goals and visualize outcomes more clearly. You know what? This is even very inspiring for myself because I think having a goal, it's so important. Sometimes with the goal in mind, you don't need lots of tools. Um, yeah, if there's a goal, everything else just comes with you, right? Your tools, your weapons, you're armed with those tools. But having that goal, it's so important. In in many times, maybe for many individuals, the lack of success is really just because of there is not there is a goal, but if that goal is just on that superficial level, it's not deep enough in the mind, right? In this mindfulness context, it's not clear enough, right? Only when it's clear enough, then it becomes a motivation for you, right? Very important, very inspiring, even for myself. Okay, with a couple more points here, we'll start a short meditation, and just in between our talk. What are the companies doing for mindfulness in today's business world? More and more companies are championing mindfulness meditation techniques within their workplace. The message they're spreading is that mindfulness can be practiced by anyone, that is also has a place in business. And there's good reason for this, with mindfulness programs boasting a plethora of positive effects. That's true. But anyways, yeah, maybe some individual programs have been boasting too much. But honestly, for me, anything that you're saying that about how good is mindfulness mm, is not exaggerating, right? Just depending how we understand it, right? Some may understand it. Okay, I need something immediately, right? Today is a time for instant gratification. People needs that. Is mindfulness that? Maybe not, right? And maybe, in fact. Why? It's not the thing outside of you, right? This is not, hey, I have cold, let me take a Tylenol. don't think it that way. I think in today's world, in today's time, let's just think a bit more, even more maturely, if you will, because that way of external thinking is very, very not true. It's not to reality, right? If you want to continue the uh, practice, you will know why is that. So I think boasting benefits, um, it's not bad, but of course, depending on different groups of people, group of audience, for business, it is important to let people know, especially decision makers, that mindfulness has a place and it can be practiced by anyone. Okay, as the demand of mindfulness training with business continues to grow, so too do the opportunities for those who are qualified to provide it. Not only does this mean that some professionals are expanding their careers by offering corporate meditation classes, but it also shows that mental health is something to be taken seriously. That's very true, right? Why work? Let me just ask this question, right? We work um, for food, for happiness, for bread, for happiness, or for personal growth, or realizing the meaning of life. There could be different levels, but I guess nobody as of today agree that it's only for bread only, right? It's only for bread. Uh, we need much more than that, and we deserve it. So it's a good thing that the whole society is definitely taking mental health much more seriously. You see that from business level, from government level, from research level. So that's great. Okay, before I mention the specific names of these companies and what they do on mindfulness, let's just do a short meditation. So pause yourself. If you are on a chair, lean forward. Let your spine leave the back of the chair and support itself. You can choose to lower your gaze or even close your eyes if that's comfortable. Just pause and feel what's going on. First, you can check our body. What is the main body sensation or different body sensations that's happening now that we can be aware of? Is there any emotions going on? Are there thoughts? If there are, maybe they come one by one after another. One good way just to label it, hey, this is a thought. A thought has arisen. Name it, label it. Same for emotion. An emotion is there. And then unavoidably, all these thoughts and emotions don't really stay too long. They disappear and then they're replaced by the next one. So, in the same way, just label them, watch them, preferably not to identify with them. Don't jump on the train of emotions or train of thoughts. Okay, maybe noticing any sound that you could hear. See, same thing. You can label them. An airplane, someone was talking, there is a sound in the broadcast background. Again, mindfulness is real life. Of course, you can find a place that's really quiet, but one good thing is mindfulness can be practiced in a environment that has external stimuli. A sound is also just a sound. Similarly, you don't need to jump on that tree that will carry you away. Okay, I think now we can focus on our breath for a few moments. Noticing that we're breathing in and then breathing out. Okay, so now you can open your eyes if they're closed. We'll continue with this piece of message. What companies are doing, especially big companies. The first one I'd like to mention here is Google. Okay, Google's success is not a secret. Very innovative company. Um, so they have their cutting edge search algorithm, and they also have a sleek hardware design. They're always at the forefront of new technology. But maybe many don't know that Google also is at the front of a new movement of psychology. It's called positive psychology. The positive psychology is a scientific study of happiness and well-being. If it focuses on things like positive emotions, strength, virtues, and resilience. Google is investing heavily in it. Okay, Google has made significant investment in positive psychology the classes and programs for employees to keep their present attentive. From time to time, Google provides everything its workers need to find serenity amid the hassle, whether it's recurring meditation sessions or on-set massage therapy. The outcomes are evident. Um, Staff is more aware, are both that is more aware and is both productive and creative, which leads to a successful reinforcement for the individual as well as the organization. Um, well, Google actually had the position uh, called CHO, right? The Chief Health Officer. Edmund Tan or Stair is one of the earliest engineers and who has a Buddhism background and started this uh, program of mindfulness. Um, well, actually, it's called Search in Yourself. It has the institute, has the program, has the training, and thinking some other articles there are, um, yeah, Chadman Tan is a former Google engineer. He turned motivator and a mindfulness educator for the company. Right, the search in itself, in yourself program has, I think, over more than 10 years now. It worked very well. The next one to mention is General Mills. Employees at General Mills are encouraged to practice mindfulness as part of the company's mission to create a healthy working environment culture. The firm has several programs in place to support workers in developing meditation habit, including on-site meditation room, monthly lunchtime lecture, lunch and learning. I think many companies need to do that. Meditation and yoga have been gaining momentum at General Mills over the past 7 years, starting out as a side project by one executive. The company now boasts that its employees are trained mindfulness instructors who can teach their minds how to be more focused with clarity of thought while experiencing a spontaneous for creativity. And most importantly, they feel connected to others around them also. Yeah, I wonder by the time this article was published, okay, this is actually 2022. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they didn't mention there's an institute for mindfulness leadership founded by Janice. Um, it's very famous in the mindfulness world. Okay, but it's good to see that the whole company, among the whole company, the mindfulness has been promoted so well that they benefit from it. Intel, okay, you would think this chip has so many integrated circuits in it, and it just could be the opposite of mindfulness. But the program of mindfulness meditation classes at Intel was started. It was started small. It's just by a few of the workers um, on their own initiative, but it has since expanded to become a company-wide employee wellness program. This way, hardworking engineers can incorporate mindfulness technique into an already high-pressure job environment in order to find them for stress reduction. The goal of the program is not only to improve productivity, but also to create a more supportive and collaborative workplace community. The added bonus are increased productivity and lower healthcare cost. So I think this is wonderful. Definitely worth uh, some study into it because there are um, lots of credibility that Intel can bring to everyone. So definitely these engineers are a very high. I think many of the, or maybe even any of the R&D focused companies is the same, no difference. So hope this program can be, or this kind of program can be much more popular and adapted into companies like this. And one of the best thing is a supportive and collaborative workplace. That's really uh, very, very needed. Okay, without too much details, let's just get into the next one. Goldman Sachs. Another surprise, isn't it? Right? You would think money, Wall Street. Um, if you watch the movie in last session that was mentioned in the Wall Street example, um, right, is again almost opposite to um, mindfulness. But you can see this organization has been recognized by Fortune magazine as one of the best places to work. On Twitter, they use mental health and mindfulness hashtags to emphasize the benefit of mindfulness in their company culture. Okay, meditation sessions are run by Sarah Wood, an analyst and self proclaimed perfectionist who has um, dealt with harsh self criticism over the years. You can imagine, right? Usually, people work in these companies are high IQ scores and high education, right? Good universities, good education, elite, if you will. So perfectionist is not a surprise. So Wood developed a passion for inspiring mental well-being within the workplace and has run a meditation program in the company for several years. She has also hosted a TED Talk entitled Flip Your Ratio, Find Your Joy, which teaches ways to promote joy in daily life, opposing the old idea that all happiness must be earned through hard work alone. This is so important. I like everyone to go listen to her talk on TED. So Wood brings a fresh and human-centered approach to human capital management. I'm so glad to learn this because Goldman Sachs is almost seen as a representative of capitalism, of the source of suffer, if you will, that many, uh, regular workers, blue collar workers experience. Mm. But however, this is much more complicated than just saying somebody is reigning, somebody is being reigned. And yeah, it's very, starting from individual is always a good idea. individual experience of mindfulness. So, in that term, people who work in Goldman Sachs or somebody who does cleaning, for example, it makes no difference from the point of view of you need happiness, you can benefit from mindfulness. Um, the level of happiness is not only, it's not solely depends on income, and there are other sources of balance. Okay. Um, yeah, probably not enough time to mention every individual, but on the list there are Aetna, AstraZeneca, Fidelity Investment, Nike, the Hospital of Special Surgery in New York. Let's look at Fidelity. Fidelity Investment is a privately owned investment management company that began operations in 1946 with more than 26 million customers and a 6 trillion worth of assets under its purview. It's no surprise where the organization has grown to be one of the largest firms around. Julie Ravitch O'Connell is the vice president of Fidelity Investment, but she also serves as a mindfulness instructor and the corporate mindfulness program director for the company as a whole. I have an airplane here, so let's just pause for a few seconds, let the airplane pass. Okay, in the meantime, you can practice the sound. Well, there are even more noises. Anyways, the program has successfully increased employee engagement and lowered stress level across the company. O'Connell stands as another outstanding example of a mindful leader. Okay, I'm very glad you can see on the list there are uh, financial firms, there are high tech companies, software, hardware, semiconductor. Here's one more example, then we'll finish today's live streaming. For a company that promotes a healthy lifestyle, it's only natural that Nike has an outstanding history of encouraging a healthy work environment. Nike was one of the first business to provide their employees with weekly free meditation classes and free yoga. The activity has since expanded to many more of their locations across the world. By promoting mindfulness, Nike allows its employees to feel refreshed and focused while well on the job, resulting in improved work performance and a decrease in sick days. But John Anderson, recruiting manager at Nike, said about the program, it can be easy to focus so much on physical activity for the body that sometimes we forget to exercise the mind. Nike is committed to our total wellness. I started meditation almost 2 years ago, thanks to my wife. Meditation has transformed my life both personally and professionally in only 3 minutes or less per day. Wow. Okay, I hope this piece of message will benefit individuals who are interested and also businesses, companies that are looking at improve your productivity and the image of the company and the benefit of the employees. And last time we talked about the turnover, and it definitely will return turnover if mindfulness it's adopted. Okay, think that bring to an end of today's live streaming, and hopefully you enjoy. Again, please help share this channel, um, subscribe this channel, share the video with your friends, and turn on the alert so that you receive the latest update. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the day, enjoy the week.